And we're live, everybody. Welcome to IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. It's season 6. It's our award-winning pop culture, sci-fi, news, and entertainment channel. I'm New York Pete, of course. And sitting in for Tipsy Toaster tonight is none other than Shawn Scialo from the Battlestar Bulletin board. Shawn, thanks for coming on board. You know that we have our own unique twist on how we see things, especially from our perspective of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, growing up with some of the best of the comic books out there, the TV, movies. We were reminiscing a little bit before we went live, and that's what we were saying. And so here we are. We're big Battlestar Galactica fans, so that's always in somewhere in our broadcast, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So, Shawn, welcome.
Hey, thanks, Pete. Excited to be here. And yeah, maybe you could tell I'm a little bit of a Battlestar fan, and just a tiny bit. And I got my my expo from Plano Expo, Retro Expo. I went to a couple weeks ago. Saw all the Battlestar cast from both shows. Just a little bit of a fan. Excited to be here. I know we're gonna have a good time.
Oh, absolutely. So, look, why don't you join me with the toast to the fans? And then we'll hit it off. There's a bunch of things to talk about. I'm excited to be back. I was overseas on vacation. Some of you have seen some of the pictures, but I also was doing research for another project, another film media project that we're working on, and so it was tremendous. So without further ado, we have a great saying here on Interfleet Broadcasting. Shawn, you know what it is, so go ahead. Let's toast.
Fans fuel the fleet.
There you go, everyone. Thanks for joining us live. I can see that we have a bunch of our regulars are here. Erica Riley, George Giacomis, and of course Lola, Paul, James McCoy, and Cassie BSG2, Erica Persiani, what's up? And of course, mediocre modeler Kelvin, thank you for stepping in and covering for me for the last 2 weeks. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. Great job, guys. And of course, Tipsy Toaster is out and about. I believe he's making his way back to his home base. And so he's out there somewhere.
His home base. Yeah,
that's right. And so, he's out there driving, I base. So safe travels, Tipsy. Hopefully you won't be intercepted by any colonial warriors or, based, Battlestars. So, just do what you got to do, buddy. And he'll be back with us next week. I also have John 1 is with us, so I'm gonna bring him on. Here we go. Hey, John, what's up,
buddy?
Man?
How y'all doing? Hey, Shawn, how's things?
Good.
Great. Bert Oliver Bomer's with us. Hey, Rick Moreno is with us. I'm, like I always. Hey, James McCoy, and I try to stay on top of who's here as best I can. Try to put up a chat. Try to say hello, guys. We're using our auxiliary platform on StreamYard here, and not the big war machine that Tipsy Toaster likes to use. But welcome everybody again. Shawn Scialo from Battlestar Bulletin board is co-hosting with myself and John 1. John, how are you, man?
Good. How you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good. Work, and then we got a lot of good news coming up. Keeping busy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. I know that both of you have been out and about, and we're going to get to that. I want to hear from Shawn. He actually went to a Battlestar Galactica sort of reunion. We'll talk about details because it was original and, of course, new cast at the con. John, you've been at the con. You went to a con and you posted pictures on IFB, and there's a lot of other great stuff going on. So we'll get to that. But before, I want to get into I have your deck. I have your presentation for tonight. Let's not forget that tonight we have Leanne Curtis is coming on. Yep. And I actually watched 16 Candles again. And it's good, man. I mean, we talk about we're from, the 70s, 80s, and, whatever. Those are like formative years, right? High school years of the 80s. and 16 Candles, I went to see it in the movie theater, like probably like you guys. So, and she's a big supporting character in the film, man. So she's coming on. She's done a bunch of stuff, Critters 2, and she was in an episode of The Equalizer. One of my
Kojak.
Kojak movie. So, she'll come on later on. We'll talk about that stuff. But in the meantime, John, I want to get your presentation up and running. And then we have a bunch of other stuff to talk about before we get into the cons. And we'll talk about the IFB book, and we'll talk about there's a challenge. I got dared by Tipsy. I want to talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to a convention overseas later this year, and I'll bring that up later. So, all right, look, I'm going to add. There you go, John.
Right.
I got you set. So if you're ready.
Yep, all set.
All right, here we go.
All right, guys. We got some good interesting news coming up. Another series is coming to an end, unfortunately. This one I wish could go on for a while. The Boys premieres for its 5th and final season, April 8th on Amazon Plus. I don't know which side you guys are on. I like Homelander. I don't know why. I just do. Homelander, poor Homelander. He's raising that poor little lab. He's just very misunderstood. But he may get a show going on. All right. So that's going to be the 5th and final season. We don't know who's going to make it. There's going to be a couple people that's going to be, of course, last season we're going to get killed off. But who's going to make it? We'll see. Hopefully, Homelander makes it. But fear not. We have another spinoff, Vout Rising. This is going to be about the company Vout at the beginning when it first starting up, and Soldier Boy, played by Jensen Ackles, is going to be in it. A couple of his cast, last season he came back and killed his former teammates. These are his teammates now in the beginning. So it's going to be a prequel of kind of The Boys. So that's going to come out later on in the year. Hopefully it comes out soon. So if you're not, The Boys is still going on. So let's keep on going. And let's see. And the character just won't die. April 6th, but Disney Plus will premiere Maul, the Shadow Lord. It's an animated series. I was at Rebel Scum last year talking to a lot of the actors, the voice actors, and they said it's going to be a great series. The animation is going to be good. George Lucas was working on it. ILM was working on it. But, it's the same Maul, same character. We need to get new characters like something from I don't know, maybe point of view of the Empire, maybe from Stormtrooper units, or something that people want to see that. But
yeah, that'd be cool.
Until then, it's going to be Darth Maul, another animated series like the Clone Wars, and it's going to be Disney Plus. So, new things, Disney, come on. And Netflix is making a live action series of Scooby Doo.
Oh boy, okay, hold on.
And this is the cast, and I've never heard of them. I don't know who they are. So, if someone knows who these people are, tell me. So it's going to be like the movie. It's going to be a live action cast, and it's going to be a CG animated goofy Scooby Doo. But all I can hope is like it's an adult crime scene when the Scooby Gang, walks on a murder scene and zoinkies. It's that's what I can hope. So hopefully it would be like that. But if not, just go watch the movies.
Who had John 1 saying zoinkies on their bingo card? Well done.
Yes, exactly.
The Joinkies and Jeepers, right? Remember that series?
Yeah.
I love Scooby Doo after school.
Oh,
and
man.
Apparently, there's a remake of the cult classic. Deathstalker. Remember Deathstalker? There's a remake.
Yes.
That came out. It's going to be on VOD tomorrow, I think. He battles demons to save an amulet, and it's going to be like old CGI special effects, like puppets and stuff for the monsters. So it's been like an old homage to all the 80s and 70s horror films that were great. So the ones that we growing up. So this is going to come out in VOD tomorrow, maybe some platforms, maybe Tubi or something, but keep an eye on it. It looks fun. Looks like one of those fun film shows. So we'll see. And Absolute Batman will be getting his own video game.
Ooh.
Hey, might as well. He's got his characters out. Comics are untouchable. The Monolith's Batman Gotham City Chronicles will release later this year. Absolute Batman character is going to be in this game system. So I need to get a game console. All right. And I just started watching this series. Disney's Wonder Man has been renewed for a second season. I don't know how you guys watched Wonder Man, how you guys like it. I watched the first season, and your mouse just beep, because that's what I was like, what the heck? So I probably got to finish watching the season, so should be good. But season 2, and now make sure you have your popcorn, your bubble gum.
Oh boy!
Because you're gonna make a live action remake of They Live. Remember?
Whoa!
Chew gum, bubble gum, and kiss ass, and kick ass, and I run out of bubble gum.
That's right. Oh boy! I hope they do a good job because I'll tell you, Tipsy's a big fan.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That was a great move. Who's gonna replace Roddy Piper and David Keith?
Yeah.
David Keith, he's in anything. He's great in everything he's in. So I don't know. So hopefully that's going to come out soon. And Keanu Reeves, comic book character Berserker, is going to be on a new Netflix feature film. So it's going to be out in the works maybe next year. So it's a pretty good comic. Now it's going to be a film on Netflix. So
Okay,
we'll let you know when it comes out.
we'll see.
All right, and that's it for me on my report.
Very cool. So, John, I know there's a bunch of stuff going on. It's always kind of hard, but at least we get a little bit of, the current stuff in the upcoming in terms of, the comic books and some of the other films and stuff. So that's great. I always enjoy hearing some of that. It's hard to keep up with everything. So between, you and of course, Tiny Bean, we have our fingers on the pulse of some of these other things. So I know there is a challenge that I have to talk about, right? And you guys, you should have heard from one of the other shows, and I know you guys been, you've been paying attention to this and possibly following it. But for everybody that's out there, once upon a time, I purchased brand new, new old stock 1978 Battlestar Galactica trading cards in the wax pack, and I bought enough for me to have a couple, and I sent some to Tipsy, and we opened a pack each on air, and I dared, like we used to dare when we were 11 and 12, and I dared Tipsy to eat the gum that was, it's like 40 years old, and he did. I thought it was hysterical funny because he was going to lose his lunch or his dinner or whatever. And, he said, he keeps saying it tasted like walking into a museum.
Museum flavor.
Yeah, museum flavor.
I'm like Smithsonian.
My age taste.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's like an old bookstore, like that musty type. And he's like, yeah, but worse. And anyway, so he's been holding that now for, I don't know, 5 years or so. And so I just got these recently, and I here.
Don't do it.
Guys,
don't do it.
So these are.
Later.
I got he's got a couple of packs, and he sent me, and let's see if you guys can hear this.
Oh, sounds fresh. That's the sound of freshness right there.
So, I figured since Tipsy is okay and he nothing happened to him, I'm gonna I'll do it because double dare, right? So I will be doing that at a future show. We'll talk about Knight Rider, and then we'll open up the cards, and I will taste some of the 40-year-old gum just to even things out. And I had to bring that up. But from the world of conventions, guys, there's a lot going on. And I know that both of you, like I said earlier, both of you attended stuff, but Comic Palooza Houston in May, Abilene Comic-Con in May, Big League Roanoke in May. And they're all, and of course, Shore Leave, are all going to have classic BSG celebrities there. So it's a battle of Mays. This May is going to be a battle. Of course, I got to mention Minicon in Long Island, the one day. IFB will be there supporting, and so it's free. So if any of you guys are out and about, stay tuned. And Chris Fian will let us know more about that as we get closer. But it's out and we of course are supporting. So please, if you're in the New York area, please come down to that. But I want to throw this back to both you, Shawn, and John, and let's talk about the cons that you went to. So I know, like Shawn, you would put stuff up on Battlestar Bulletin board. You recorded yourself. You did some live broadcasts. You said it was kind of small before we started, but kind of tell us more about that.
Yeah, so it was the weekend of March 7th, 8th, and 9th in Plano, Texas. Definitely small. Like honestly, I first walked in, I'm like, oh, what did I walk myself into? It was like basically 2 hallways and then 1 dealer room. But I tell you what, I had a ball. Both casts, the classic Battlestar Galactica cast. We had Dirk was there, Sarah Rush was there, Herb was there, of course, Boomer. Boxy was there, Noah Hathaway was there, and then you had the and the Lorette. Did I mention Lorette? Lorette was there, and then you had Eddie Almos from the Reimagined show. We had Six was there. I'll just go by their character names. Six was there. Female Boomer was there, and Gaius Baltar was there, and it was great, and it was great to see them all interact. And I've never seen the both casts kind of together. Because you know how the fandom is with those two shows, but it was a job that they got along famously. But so it was Retro Expo in Plano, Texas. Again, it was very small. I came away. So let me show you what I got here. This is now I kept the price. This is Luke Skywalker. My wife lost her mind for a minute and started going a little cuckoo with
nice
buying I got a whole lot of them. And the reason why, when I was in the 3rd grade, one of my favorite Christmases of all time, and I've told her this story, was I opened up a gift and it was C-3PO. But like I'm sure a lot of us, I lost it, over the years. I don't know what happened to it. So her whole intent was, let's replace your C-3PO. And so, $25, not bad. Then we're sitting there. I got a Chewbacca, I got an R2-D2, and then the motherlode. This is the Black Jedi outfit. Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker. But what I really my pride and joy is getting to see the cast. And get pictures of them. Sarah Rush, Rigel, launch all fighters. Right.
Oh boy.
Awesome. Herb is fantastic. And this is my favorite. I like this picture because they're in their jumpsuits from The Living Legend, right?
Oh yeah.
And I got Eddie and I got Noah. And Noah tells the story about he was 6 years old and he had a major crush on Jane Seymour, his mom, Serena. But it was great. Obviously the big cons are awesome. I'm going to Phoenix Fan Fusion in a month or so, and that's a pretty sizable convention. But there's something about a small one too, especially when you talk about a Battlestar Galactica reunion, and you got all these actors there, and you're walking down hallways and you're passing each other throughout the 2 or 3 day event. And it's intimate. And Lola, you were there. Lola, I met Lola. I got to meet Lola and Kim Harms. I got to meet some great fans for the first time in person, and that was great. But just you're going through the line, and you're getting your autographs, and because it's smaller, they had time to talk to you, right? To really talk to you, which is awesome, because about 3 or 4 years ago at Phoenix Fan Fusion, I met Katie Sackhoff, of course, Starbuck, and of course she's in Mandalorian as well. And you can imagine the line for that, right? It was major, and Katie Sackhoff was apologizing to everyone as you went through line, because she didn't have any time to really give you, right? Beyond a quick smile and a signature. But yeah, it was amazing. I had a ball. I did put some videos up on Battlestar Bulletin board. The only thing I would say I was disappointed in, considering it was and I should have had it ready. It's over in the corner, but I was only able to find one piece of Battlestar Galactica in the dealer room.
Oh,
1990 figures that they're kind of all hulked out, but yeah, so I felt like it was a missed opportunity. It's a Battlestar Galactica reunion. They're the major attraction of the event, and there was really no representation in the in the room as far as the collectibles and whatnot. So that was a little disappointing, but otherwise, I had a great time. It was awesome.
Cool. I was almost afraid to ask you, but that was definitely on the list of things to bring up was, typically in the past, the dealers would always cater to the celebrity, that was going to be there, the celebrities, and bring all whatever the material, because they know, right? If you got this guy coming, he's going to bring those fans, that fandom's coming. I got to bring. That's a talk about missed opportunity. We went to Knoxville and we did a fanboy expo, and we found a bunch of Galactica stuff. The belt buckle. Tipsy bought the Command Centurion, the original mail away. We found a bunch of stuff. We were so happy.
Yep.
But that's what happens. I know, John, you go looking around, and it's tough to see sometimes, right?
It is, especially with all these actors. You're like, okay,
yeah.
I mean,
that's what it's the Starbuck. I think this is from Rob Liefeld's run with the Maximum Press Comics, and then they came out with the action figures. So that's all.
Wow. I mean, the only way I saw it was like the con was when I went to Rebel Scum last summer. It was all Star Wars and real good stuff, and plus, Sean was right. You get to go to see the celebrities. They're right there. You're sitting at a table. There's no line. They're talking to you, and it's really cool. It's very intimate and it's really enjoyable. I talk to everybody, and they're all there. And then Katie Sackhouse came late, but that was a line. So, but she even talked to you for a little bit too. So it was pretty cool. So.
It's always the best. It's one thing to just purchase an autograph from because there's a lot of these cons. They always have extra autographs from their celebrities, and towards a lot of times they'll do it around Christmas time. They'll put a lot of those up for sale, so if it's coming directly from the convention, it's legit signature. But it's another thing to actually meet them. So it's kind of, there's always that, will you ever get a chance to meet some of these people? And if the answer is no, and you still want it, my recommendation is get directly from the convention, because they're that's a legit autograph. Some of the other stuff on eBay, man, you just don't know. But you can't beat meeting them. That's usually the best. I know that Captain Martin, George Zuvalos himself was on. Thank you for dropping in, George. Appreciate you, and lots of luck with Once a Week for Life, which is going on video on demand or on all the streaming platforms. Once a Week for Life, and it's the first of possibly a trilogy of films. And we all kind of participated. Myself and Tipsy, we were actually in, and we worked on it, as well as Georgia Kumis was the DP. I was a unit production manager for this is my second feature that I've actually worked on professionally. So lots of luck with that, George. April 14, guys, if you're into the crime drama and that kind of stuff, police thriller drama stuff, with a unique twist and a bunch of incredible actors that are in it. Look for it. April 14th. It'll be available on all streaming platforms. So, George,
the trailer's out too on YouTube, right?
Yeah. So, the trailer is out. So that's right. So, look for it, guys. So that's from Captain Martin himself, who is, the lead in The Stranded Warrior. Thanks for tuning in. I see that Tipsy Toaster jumped on. If you're still on, Tipsy, thanks for, taking the time out. I know that I don't know if you're driving or not, but you're making your way back home. I know sorry you couldn't be with us, but we got you covered, man. Who else is up? I saw somebody else. Chris Marshall jumped on. Oh, Superfan Fran. It's Fran. How are you? How's it going? Looking forward to seeing you at Shore Leave. So yeah. John, what else? I mean, you took pictures, you posted stuff on IFB. What else was your takeaway from the con that you went to? What was that?
I went to a different con. I went to a collector's con, a toy con. So my son likes these dinosaurs, these Cenozoic beasts.
Yeah.
So I said, I lost the bet, so I took a ride down there, and a lot of collectible stuff. He got some of his dinosaurs. I got some of my characters that I like. I like the Scalatron and I like Operation Monster Force. So just collectibles, and we have fun with it. And it was
Cool.
something different, and it was down by the Philly, it was over there by King of Prussia casino. So
Yeah.
we waited in
Yeah,
line,
yeah.
I got our tickets, and I turned around. My wife was gone because she went upstairs to the casino.
No, hey,
I was
listen.
like, okay, let's go buy
Yep.
stuff, kids.
Man, that's look, every person's got their own thing, right? So, you got the casino and then you go to the collector thing. That works perfectly.
Yeah,
I did
you
want
get
to
to the age where you pass it on to the comics. Oh, I'm glad I'm going to read your comics. Well, don't touch those comics. I'll buy you some. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch ones in the plastic. Can't open them. They're worth money. Don't tell mom. But it's good that
Yeah.
you pass it on to that interest to them, and they're reading sci-fi books, they're doing comics, so it's good. They're gonna have a well-rounded out sci-fi experience when they get older. So
Good. I know they're scouts. They do their scouting
scouts, yep.
stuff.
A lot
Yeah,
of
so
acting,
that's
yeah.
great. You're doing it right, John. I think all of us have kind of influenced our kids the right way. So that's a good thing. I did want to bring up Shore Leave, guys. Shore Leave has been very good to us. We're waiting on that final confirmation for Jack Stauffer. So we're working that angle. And that's going to happen. In the meantime, we know that Ann Lockhart and Herb Jefferson are going to be at Shore Leave, and 40 authors are going to be there. At least 10 celebrities. IFB front and center we have our own table. The Stranded Warrior is going to be screening. We have a panel, and I don't know, Shawn, I think you might be coming. I'm not sure. Looking good. So you'll be joining us on the panel. We have, as a matter of fact, unconfirmed, but for those of you that follow Battlestar Galactica, the admin, he told me, I had a conversation with him, and he's making his best effort to go. I invited him to sit on our panel. This would be, I think, the first time that he's sat on a panel. And so if he does make it, we're hoping that he does. He's going to be sitting with us. So we're going to premiere, right? This will the first time anywhere that we will premiere at a sci-fi convention, both the trailer for the Stranded Warrior, followed by the actual Stranded Warrior at Shore Leave, and then we have a full panel and we get to talk about it. Actors will be there. Diana Durango, Major Amon will be there, as well as Tiny Bean and Fran and Gary and Dave. So a bunch of the guys are going to be there that were actually in it. And so we're going to have some giveaways and swag and free autographs for people to come. We also have our IFB book, guys. So for those of you that
Battlestar Galactica did a really great review on his page about the Stranded Warrior. That was really
yes,
it's on
absolutely.
YouTube, so it's really good. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, that was very cool. So yes, that's so we had it back. He contacted me. I told him absolutely. I sent him some stuff that he wanted, and so he did it. And then I thanked him afterwards. And then I mentioned the Shore Leave, and then we went back and forth. I invited him. Hopefully he'll go, and then he'll make himself known publicly at the panel. And that goes for you as well, Shawn. If you're coming, which I hope you do, you'll be sitting on the panel. We have a table, and we're going to have the IFB compendium, of course, which is out there. We debuted. We made the bestseller list, and one of the on number one for new releases first week that it came out.
That's awesome.
It's insane. Thank you, everybody that picked one up, and those of you that want the hardcover, it's on the way. So it's being finalized. I have a not for sale, one of those previews. So we had to make some adjustments on the way we uploaded it. So because it didn't come out too clear, but here it is. It's got everybody in it, and then of course we added our electronic press kit. So all of you guys that are part of IFB, the team officially, you're in there as well. So that's coming. So this will be released. It's in Kindle. And I did want to say this, right? Because I got some comments, guys. You probably all know this already, but for everybody else, what I got was, what is the matter with you releasing anything as a Kindle edition? And I was like, well, there's 72 million Kindle units globally, and that's a 2024 figure. I think there's 90 million now.
Oh, wow.
And there's 90 countries, 40 different languages, and the US has 27 million active Kindle devices. So that's the short answer as to why we made a Kindle or an e-version of the book. And since I'm at it, and both of you are involved as well, For the Love of Battlestar is back on track. And tonight I can announce that Glenn Eric Larson is officially doing the introduction to For the Love of Battlestar. And that's an upcoming book.
Oh, excellent.
We intend to have it ready for shore leave. That's the goal, to actually have copies so that, we can have those at the table at shore leave. We'll have a couple of these too. We'll have some of the books, the IFB compendium with us as well, so we can autograph for anybody who wants to pick one of those up. I think we're gonna have a great time, guys. So that was a little bit of what I wanted to say. And I'll add this. I mentioned this to Shawn. He brought this up to me, and we wrapped up Stranded Warrior, wrapped up its festival. All the festivals that we were in globally, domestically. We got word from the last one. It was the Triborough Film Festival. So right now we have 25 awards for the Stranded Warrior. We've been selected into 30, or have been selected over the last, a year and a half, 2 years now, into 30 film festivals. And we've been screened in no less than 25 around the world, have been exposed to Battlestar Galactica in the classic, time period that we put it in. And these are people, most of them have never seen Battlestar Galactica in any form. So that was a give back to the fans. And we made it, right? This fan film, The Stranded Warrior, we made it with everybody's help, right? Including all of you that are on tonight and everybody else that watches later. And you guys here with me now, all helped out for The Stranded Warrior. So those are wins and victories for, the fandom. So thank you guys. And there you go.
Some really cool people. Shockfest, Wolf Media, and they became fans of the show too. So it's been a great ride.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're doing things to give back. And that was always, Shawn, you said something about, us being, kids and look at where we are now. Look what we've done, as adults, right? Like looking back, would our 11 or 12-year-old selves be happy with what we've done? And the answer is yes.
My 12-year-old self be freaking out that I'm here with you guys right now having this discussion. And then I have a room like this at 57.
Yes.
So, yes.
I'm telling, that's it. That's the whole to do. Now the other thing that we have to mention, guys, before we just kind of open this up is Factory Entertainment. Factory Entertainment they are cranking out some cool stuff. We're gonna actually do some in-depth coverage of some of the pieces. So that's coming. So stay tuned for that. Factory Entertainment and we have a working relationship, and so we're going to be getting some items, and we're going to be able to show those. We'll do them on the show, and then we're going to do them pictures and in-depth, breakdown and critique of the Galactica items that they're coming out with. Awesome. A lot of people, Shawn, John, a lot of people a lot of the fans were like, "Where's our stuff? Where's our stuff?" Well, here it is. Yeah, Factory Entertainment's doing it, so there you
support it. So support it, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's it. We asked, we got.
6-inch figure, but the 12-inch figures look great. You see the taller ones? Those would be great looking on my wall. It's like those.
hint.
Awesome. I'm gonna have to buy a couple of them.
I'm telling you,
they look gorgeous.
They are. They're really, really cool. And
they have Jaws, they have Knight Rider coming out. They have Indiana Jones. I think that's Indiana Jones. And
Look,
a couple others coming out, but it looks great.
the more we support, the more they're going to give back. So it's a big to do. By the way, Fran posted. She said that I bought tickets for dinner with Annie. So that's going on. Fran, do you know what day that is? Is that for Friday? I hope it's Friday. Because on Saturday IFB is putting together dinner. So if I don't remember, Fran, let me know. Let us know. Can you put up the when is Annie's dinner? Is it Friday or Saturday? Because we have reservations for those that are going to shore leave for us to go have. We have a semi-private area at a local restaurant, and it's for all of the IFB people to come and have, break bread together. So keep that in mind. Hopefully it won't conflict with dinner with Annie, because there's a celebrity dinner that you can have, and she's part of that. So not sure. Let me check. Thank you. Thanks, Fran, for doing that. All right. So 25 awards. That is crazy. We've done really, really well. I'm very happy. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. John, the stats. We have really good stats.
Yes. The last couple of shows over 1,000. We actually went up 5,000 likes on Facebook page. It used to be 25, now it's 30 something. It's went up. We're getting bigger and bigger, so it's getting good.
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, Shawn. So what do you have? I know that you dig up some great articles. Past articles from various magazines and stuff, Battlestar related. I know at some point it'll start to dry up, but what do you have?
You think?
Do you have anything? Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I mean, just like you guys have been a fan of we're talking about Battlestar Galactica since 1970, since it premiered, and I think we all know the history of it. It was a huge launch, 65 million viewers. It was on every People magazine, every outlet, every media outlet. The other networks are battling it, and putting King Kong movie of the week or the Emmys or Grammys or whatever it was, and all this stuff. And so you think at some point, to your point, you think 47 years later, you think you dry up on, because Battlestar Bulletin Board, we do a Magazine Monday feature where we put up, and what I've started doing is transcripts. So not just like the pictures and you got to pinch in and read it. I've been putting up the actual transcripts, and I've gotten some good feedback, and I hope you guys are enjoying that stuff. But
yes.
It's amazing because I still definitely there's some repeats, year over year. I bring out, because there's new fans or new people, and maybe they missed it. So a lot of repeats over the, I've been doing this for 5 years now, but I will say, I found something the other day. I think it was either you or Tipsy commented on it. It was actually a very negative review of Battlestar, but hey, it was of its time, and so we posted it on one of our sites. But anyways, my point is, I'm still digging. You go down rabbit holes, and you still dig up occasional. You find a gold bar every now and then. So yeah, we do Magazine Mondays. We do Tin Can Tuesdays. With some Cylon kind of focus. Warrior Wednesdays. Real original here, guys, right? And just having a ball with it. I would say our public page, we're up to 13,000 followers. So I'm really excited about that. And we're absolutely, because I'm by heart of hearts, I'm a classic fan, in the 1978. So I would say 90% of what we, maybe more, maybe 95% of what we post is classic. But I do work in some reimagined too. And the reason I do that too is, first of all, I did watch the reimagined. It wasn't what I asked for. It wasn't what I wanted, but I watched it. It's the same premise. It's just an adult dark version, and it is what it is. But I'm still of the, at some point, it's too big of an IP, too big of an intellectual property. Somewhere along the line, it's going to come back in some form. And so I want Battlestar Bulletin Board to be ready to not just be a classic, platform, but also whatever Battlestar becomes in the future. So we try to, cover it from all angles. And then, of course, you guys know, Battlestar Bulletin Board Launch Bay was something I launched last May. and Fran's been a part of that. The Professor Eric Padden and myself, as far as original fan fiction based on Battlestar Galactica, and sometimes it confuses people because it has supporting images. But what the idea is, I call it the immersion series, and what we do is you take fan fiction and we put images to it. And when I initially launched it, the idea was, just still frame images, maybe artwork of some sort. Well, as AI developed and stuff, and we said, I can make these images move.
Wow, it's cool.
This is kind of neat. This is kind of cool. And so, look, we can talk about AI and actually that's in the book that's going to be releasing, right?
Absolutely.
There's like anything else, any evolution of any kind. There's pros and cons to it, and I think this is neat, right? I can't draw. I can't. So, and maybe some people think I can't write either. That's another story. But the idea is you can put images with your story. It's just, especially like Fran is such a good writer. And if anyone has a chance, and you can go to Battlestar Bulletin Board Launch Bay, you'll see some great work. Tally of the Souls. I was reading it as I was putting it together weekly with the images. I was like, oh, I was totally fanboying. And the same thing with Eric Padden's Battlestar Galactica and Planet of the Apes crossover. I mean, it's just amazing. And then I'm currently in the middle of my book 2 of 3 of what I'm calling the Quest for Earth trilogy, and it's set in real time, 47 years after the original series. And so I didn't want cameos from the original characters. They're our main component, but let's be real, they're in their 70s and 80s, so there are new characters as well. And what I would say, it's been 90% very positive feedback. The 5% constructive, which I'll always take that all day long, give it to me. And then 5% like, oh, you change the costumes or this or that. And I'll just say one thing, and I'll shut up. I thought, 47 years later, guys, I don't know if we're going to be wearing, brown suede jackets and motorcycle boots. I don't, because I went with the idea of, what if we were actually making this, right? What would Hollywood do? What would we do, to kind of bring it forward just a little bit. But what I did was I took the Tom DeSanto, Bryan Singer, what they had done and designed, and I made those the Warrior uniform. So it's of the era, sort of, and in the spirit of. And I hope you guys check it out. But I'm having a ball, and that's what it's about, right? Just having fun with the fandom. So
cool. That's what, right, John? I mean, that's what everybody's, as fans, that's what we want, and we're lucky because we have some of these, legacy writers. Shawn, I mean, you've been writing as well, but people like Superfan Fran, who's been writing now for one of those legacy fan fiction writers, who's also a professional writer and author, published author, and and then of course Eric Padden as well. We also have found a couple of others. We've tracked down another legacy fan fiction writer, and Tipsy and his assets have actually tracked somebody else down that we're going to be having on the show soon. I know that Tipsy had a conversation with that person, and we're going to have him come on the show, and it's going to be another revelation. So like you were saying, Shawn, right when you think there isn't anything else that you can bring up, you do. And I'll tell you, the SFTV articles, those magazines are really hard to get. Mm-hmm. And I know that the author, he's written a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, he's selling off a lot of his collection, his own personal collection of old stuff. He's out on eBay. And believe it or not, his original manuscript, which includes that one article that you shared, he's selling it. He's selling a copy of it.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. With the typos and all, but it's expensive. I don't know that it's really worth it. He really goes in with a butcher's knife, and he doesn't a cleaver, right? He doesn't, not a fan. Yeah. And But thank you for sharing those because they're really hard to get. So I'm hoping you can put up with the rest of them. I think there's 4 or 5 of those.
There is, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's really
how do you
cool.
get this? How do you get this picture? But I want to ask you, what's the most interesting thing you came across doing that?
Oh
Like,
man, there's
wow,
I mean, there's I'd say that, there's an article, and I'll have to repost it again. It's how they built the bridge. That's fascinating. That all that went into that. I think everyone knows about the Tektronix and the monitors and excuse me, and all that. But the actual working mechanism, there's actually a picture of a guy like underneath, like, and putting it together. And it was, I think you all know, everything worked. It was all real. It worked, and they had to sync the cameras to it. So there's articles like that I don't care how many times, those are fascinating. The John Dykstra stuff, the special effects, of course. But yeah, like Pete said, like the SFTV ones, like I never, honestly, until I stumbled across it, I had never seen that. He did. He's not a fan.
Nope.
But I want to hear all sides. And look, that's part of Battlestar's thing, right? That we're all the people call it cheesy, and people call it a lot of disparaging names, a Star Wars ripoff and whatnot. But I don't care. I think in a way, and I said this about the Plano like Battlestar reunion, even the reimagined as all the critical acclaim it got. And it got decent ratings, but it was on Sci-Fi. So you're talking about 2 million viewers a week versus 65, and even at its worst, Battlestar would pull in 20 million. The original, again, different world, 3 networks. But I kind of liked it. It's a small little band, right, of just us, right? Yeah. I like it. It was our thing, right? And so I'm okay with that. And but yeah, John, you find a lot of little nuggets. There's probably a million, but it's super interesting, and it brings you back. But as a 9-year-old, I didn't buy all those magazines, so I learned things for the first time as an adult. It's like, oh wow,
I don't remember seeing them growing up. Now I see them, like, I didn't miss this magazine. Like, oh, there's a cover, let me get it. And like, when I was a kid, we wanted to watch the TV, then read about the magazine. That's why. Yeah. Like, oh, it's a magazine. I want to watch it on TV.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think it's that time. We have a special guest with us tonight, and Liane Curtis is in the green room, and we'll just kind of do an intro. I know that we had a previous guest, somebody that's going to come back. We're going to invite him back. Stephen David Brooks. He actually worked with Dykstra once upon a time. I mean, John Dykstra, so he's intimately familiar with all of that stuff because it's Dykstra. But so we interviewed Stephen, and then he's got a project coming up, and one of the individuals that's involved with his work, upcoming work, and is someone that I got in touch with, and I'm excited because as an actor, she's been in a bunch of cool stuff. We pride ourselves on the 70s, 80s, and some 90s stuff because that's kind of where we grew up, and we love all this stuff. But Liane has been involved in a lot of different TV shows and movies, some stuff that'll just, jump at you, grab you right away, like it did me when I was like, oh my God, you've been in this, you've been in that. So she's here with us, and I'm very happy to have her come on. And so I'm gonna bring her up, and then we're gonna get into some talk. We'll bring up I'm gonna talk about some of my favorites. I know you guys have favorites as well, and so welcome to IFB. Liane, what's up? How are you?
Liane's not here. I ate her.
Oh boy, we are we want You're gonna
we're gonna lose you. We're gonna lose you.
Welcome to IFB. How's it going?
Clearly, I'm not in my right mind, but that's okay.
You know what? I don't think any of us are in our right minds. Thanks for taking the time out. You've been involved in the business for many, many decades. You're a musician as well. A producer, actress, and you've done a lot of stuff. And we are fans of your work. We appreciate everything you've done. Full disclosure, I watched 16 Candles today. Again for the fourth time. And I remember watching it in the movie theater when it first premiered. And you watch and you don't know where or what is going to happen with the future careers and stuff. But we're here with somebody that, you've done a lot of work. Some of my favorites that jump out of, your resume is Kojak. You did a Kojak movie, a 1990 movie. You were in an episode of the original Equalizer. I'm such a big fan of Equalizer. Critters 2, main course. And you're working on some new stuff as well. Spider Seeds is something a new project. I have some pictures to share, but welcome to IFB, and here we are.
Wow. That was a really, really, really cool intro. I think I turned red a couple times. It's making me blush. Maybe I should put my alien face back on.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you. That was very, very sweet.
And you also did your start on Sesame Street.
I did. My dad had a friend who was an agent. Her name was May Ballhauer. She was a very diminutive woman with salt and pepper hair, short curly hair, and a chain smoker. And May said, they only want 5-year-olds, but she's so precocious. Let's have her go in. So I did, and I booked, and that's like my first booking, I guess, of on camera. But I think I was a little difficult to work with even back then. My ADHD was all over the place. I told the director, who handed me back a balloon that he had blown up, and I didn't like that it was small. I said, could you blow it up bigger? And he blew me off because he was trying to get to a meeting and said, it doesn't get any bigger. I said, well, you're stupid, because my mom blew a balloon up that was just like that, twice as big last night. Guess who didn't go back?
Oops.
Yeah. A long line of gaffy things in my career. But yeah, welcome to ADHD.
You gotta you figure out a way. We have some visual aids here with us. We have some stuff that I'm gonna bring up, and we'll walk down a little bit of memory lane here, because I literally just watched that a couple hours ago, and I was like, wow,
right there. And that locker that I opened, the first take, I thought we were rolling, or maybe we were, I don't know, but I opened it up and there's a giant watermelon with candles in it burning, and the crew starts singing happy birthday, but not before I started saying my lines, because I was told that if you mess around, you're wasting like $10,000 a minute, and that's not what we're doing. So I panicked and I just kept like doing my lines, and then everybody started laughing. But yeah, that was my 18th birthday right there, that picture.
That's pretty cool. What else? What was it like on set doing that? Was it kind of crazy and zany or not, or what? It
was like a million degrees in the dance scene in the auditorium. It was like literally 104 degrees, and the props master was handing everybody these little tiny fans, the battery operated ones, the hand fans. It was very hot. Chicago's weird like that. It starts raining out of nowhere, and it's like somebody just dumping a bucket, like rain, and then it stops. It's Midwest stuff. So yeah, we were in the middle of Skokie. We stayed at the Skokie Hilton, and we hung out at the Old Orchard Mall, and it was a fun time. I was 18. Wow. What did I know?
Wow, very cool. Here's the next one I got for you. Rock and Roll High School Forever.
Corey Feldman, right? Corey Feldman was in that movie, wasn't he?
Yeah, Corey Feldman was in that. Yeah, he was. That's right before I told some blonde girl playing the role of Whitney that I'd rather be weird than Whitney. Yeah, I think so. Had just gotten done dissecting frogs, and I had sushi in my lap, and I pretended to eat the frog and just like stared at her as I did it. I remember that.
Oh, wow.
Critters too.
Scotty baby. Yeah. I still talk to him.
Really?
We emailed back and forth recently. Didn't we, Scotty? He's
Cool.
a good guy. Yeah, I've been watching Ted season 2. I like it.
And here's Baby, It's You.
Oh, more dissecting frogs.
What's up with the dissection?
I seem to attract lots of frogs, but like no princes. What the is that about?
All right, here's one. Girlfriend from Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
My arthritic hand really actually looks like that. Isn't that fun? Yeah, I actually have that hand, but no claws.
Oh,
This week.
So what was this like? This must have been,
It was a
was it-
gas. It was so much fun. We shot this movie in 17 days. Maybe it was 16.
wow.
It was yeah. Dan got the movie in a day early and a little bit under budget. What director does that?
Wow. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good thing. So I had a lot of fun. He's the one that got the lobster in the face, Dan. If anybody saw the movie. So yeah, they put a new Blu-ray out of that like recently.
Oh,
So that's-
really?
Yeah, there's a whole new Blu-ray that's available. So that's kind of interesting. And actually, Baby It's You just came out in Blu-ray too recently. I
Wow.
think they did. Yeah.
Do you
yeah,
do
if I had to-
conventions? Do you ever do signings?
Every once in a while, I do chiller every once in a while because Kevin Clement is a friend, and so he's always kind and gives me a table if I ask. But I'm a little bit of a recluse. I should do more because it's nice to meet fans. They're all very kind.
Chiller is
So-
cool. I've been to Chiller. It's like I kind of avoided it for years and then finally broke down. And I think it's one of the coolest, cons that are out there. It's fan friendly and it kind of caters to a different crowd, in the non-anime crowd, right? Because that's kind of where things are going.
Absolutely. No. It's non-anime and non-gamer.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun, but that brings us to this. You got to tell us all about this.
Okay. Well, that name at the very top, David Talker, he's somebody who was organizing a Critters 2 screening and had Mick Garris coming up to Vancouver. And he got in touch with me, and I wasn't able to go up there, but they had like kind of an Alamo Draft House kind of thing. It wasn't Alamo, but so they had Mick up there doing a Q&A and whatever. But I stayed friends with David all these years. And he sends me his books. I've got 3 up there on my bookshelf. And he sent me Spider Seeds. And I thought this would make a really good audio book. So we did that. And then I sent the book to Brooksy, Stephen David Brooks. I call him Brooksy. It's a bad habit. But so Brooksy was like, yeah, this would make a really good movie. I said, yeah, huh? I said, should I option the book? Would you write it? And he said, sure. I actually would, because I'm really kind of tired of you not working. So I want to work with you. I want to see you working. Let's take a stab at it. So I optioned the book, and then I gave both of them 1% of their fee. God bless them. And Brooksy wrote a script. He said, give me like 8 weeks. And next thing I know, 2 weeks have gone by. He's like, I just wrote it. It just came right. Like it just flowed out of his hands. So we got a script, and then we brought on a producer, Kelly Price. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say who, but he got an LOI from one actress who's got like 5 million followers on Insta.
Cool.
She's a good actress, actually. And there's another offer out to somebody who is actually a name, but I can't say that name either.
Okay.
Oh, my
Understood. Understood.
What a you I'm
Understood.
giving. I have a secret. Creepy woman walking down the street. No. So yeah. So once we get an LOI back from actress number 2, hopefully we'll get funded, and then I can start talking about it.
Nice.
But yeah, exactly. I'm super excited. It's a nice, tight little story. And it's mostly women in the film. Usually I hear from people, I'd love to help you out, but it's all guys. It's like, well, I'd love to help you out, guys, but it's all gals this time.
Okay.
Plant that turns into a killer spider, but that's not a boy or a girl. So, don't know what to tell.
What's your exact role in this production?
I would be playing Maddie, an author, a famous author who also has lots and lots of plants. And so she walks into a store and sees this plant, and she just has to have it.
Hint,
That's
hint.
all
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this in theory, I know that Stephen came on and we had talked. This could go into production later this year, fingers crossed, right? And that would be tremendous. So this is we're excited for you, and we want to definitely support as much as we can. Where do you see this going though? Right. So let's say, it goes to production, it gets, you wrap it, it's good. And is this something that you potentially will release limited theater or not? Or is it going to go streaming? What's the vision?
That's grown-up questions.
Oh, you know what's going on.
Get Brooksy on here quick. Steven. Oh my God. Well, let's start it this way. You know the movie Flytrap that Stephen David Brooks did?
Yeah.
Which has done incredibly well streaming.
Yeah.
That, like, I that's fine with me. Like, and if we can flip a better thing, distribution, that's fine. But like, this is really like not my bailiwick. I'm getting my hands.
No. So it was meant to be, a quick kind of like, answer to, yeah, of course, like one of the options, like you said, streaming would be definitely an option. And that's kind of where a lot of this is going, one way or the other. The old model, whether TV or film, is broken, right? That doesn't really exist anymore. So yeah, I mean, that's why I posed it that way. I kind of thought you would just say, yeah, probably stream.
Exactly. What you're saying is true. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any model. I mean, I've been relegated to being a member of the audience for a while, partly because I took myself off market. I had to come back here in 2019. It's actually started in 2017. My mom got Parkinson's, so I came back here to take care of her to this apartment. So between off market and then when I was ready to, I'm back. We're having a strike now. Oh, how convenient. So like the timing of everything was just whack, for lack of a more erudite word. And so, yeah, this is, I guess, why Brooksy was so very intent on helping me out here. Like, I mean, I'm kind of talking about it like it's a mercy theme, but it's not. I've wanted to work with Brooksy for a minute, like up to and including saying, you do such great work with this music artist, Rochelle Vincente Vaughn. I don't know if you've seen any of his music videos, but he shoots a lot of those for her. So first I started asking him, well, maybe you can come to New York for a weekend and we can like shoot a music video of one of my songs. Pick one that you like, and then it turned into this. Like, so I guess when you're hell-bent on working with somebody and both of you are only children and willful in a creative sense, you just make shit happen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, look, the business is a lot about networking and who you know and get to know, and that's, you just proved it. I mean, that's what it's about. And we've had so many people come on and they tell you the same thing. Uh, what about your music career? You got to tell us about your musician. Tell us a little bit about the music for those that are not familiar.
Wow. Okay. Well, I was raised in a household like I'm
Your parents were actors
yeah,
in Venice from
right.
Vaudeville.
Okay, so my mom was born in Brooklyn. She was really, really smart, but she started writing music when she was like 15 years old. She graduated high school at 15 and a half, and she got an award and went into acting school scholarship. And the next thing you know, she's doing working with HB, and then she's in Europe writing music and touring with Kenny Clark, the drummer. And then she's writing music that then she comes back to New York for John Coltrane and Carmen McRae. And then she's on Broadway. And then by the time I met my mom, she was translating films after having met my dad dubbing Godzilla movies.
Ooh.
Like, who could make this up? Nobody. Anyway. So then I guess they got, unprotected sex. Here I am. So he got a divorce from his wife, Terry Vantel, and she got a divorce from her husband. That was Matt Matthews, the accordion player. And they got a quickie divorce marriage in Mexico and came back here. And then I showed up in 1965. And so my childhood was mostly in dubbing studios. So I didn't know the composer version of my mom. I didn't know the voiceover actor dad. I mean, and he also passed away when I was 5, so I didn't quite get to know him. But his family, that's a whole other rigmarole. I'm 4th generation on his side. His mom was a very famous vaudeville dancer. Yep. Jack Benny was in love with her. Milton Berle knew her. Like I met Milton Berle and he remembered my grandma, like in the 80s at Paddington's Tea House on La Cienega, if anybody's familiar with that. Like, so I kind of got it from both sides. It's hard not to, I don't know anything else really. Like, probably not well looked on by society, because I don't contribute like a worker bee. I contribute very non-conventionally. Yeah, so I grew up like here in studios and playing music and going to Le Lycée Français de New York. I spoke two languages fluently by the time I was 3. And then the Sesame Street. And then my mom didn't want to be a stage mom because she was busy still doing her. So I was raised figure skating, taking lessons of all kinds. Meanwhile, I have the ADHD and I'm not concentrating so good. So then I got thrown into the Rudolf Steiner School, which then threw me into this completely different side of creativity, all the while playing music. And so I really I would sing harmony and plug it in and record it like to James Taylor here in this room here growing up. Which really was my way. Like I was already producing and recording my own voice as a kid, but like it didn't occur to me that I should go into music. I wasn't thinking that. Like I just wanted to do movies. So it took to it was after I had kids, like to start writing music because I needed an outlet. Like I was really having a hard time, like emotionally being a single mom. Having dads like coming at me, like, and so it was a self-soothing exercise at first. And so my self-soothing kind of turned into producing things kind of the way I heard them. And it sort of becomes, this is a really long answer, abstracts from my mind that are in 3 to 4 minute bites, which is a lot easier than sitting down and writing my story and making a feature film. That scares the shit out of me. But I can hyper focus and get songs made. One of the songs I did, The Aliens Are Here, that was a weird experience. Like I kept hearing it in my head going, this is so dumb. And then this, not that I'm schizophrenic, but this other like influence, like just stop what you're doing, go to your computer. Like it was just a really weird experience. Like I had to, compelled, it had to come out because otherwise it was going to drive me nuts kind of thing. And then I expanded it into a music video that people can watch. The aliens are here. It's on YouTube under the Lady Liane.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
I've got a couple things there. If anybody wants to watch, like it might not be on Spotify and all those platforms for much longer because I'm not crazy about Spotify or TuneCore or all these like middlemen mushrooms that make a place for themselves so that they can make money off the artist. It kind of drives me a little nuts. So I'd rather keep it to myself than, I don't know. It's really just a self-soothing exercise. And I released it just to prove to myself that I could do that without help.
Right.
I'm a big one and I got to do it all by myself. It's still only child shit, you know? But I am like an oversized child most of the time, you know? So there you go.
Liane, if you could jump into any franchise currently out there today, which one would it be?
Oh my God. Like franchise, I would say I this is really embarrassing. I love the Star Trek franchise, but I can't believe that Paul Giamatti and Holly Hunter, like how the taking all of our jobs. Like what the fuck? Like I remember when like guest star roles were available and there were plenty of them. Now you see the same three people over and over. And when you used to be one of the 5% of working actors and aren't, it's hard not to feel insulted. Not like, don't you know who I am? Not like that. But it's just, you know, give a gal a break. Like, come on.
All right. So Star Trek, that's definitely, that's a good one.
I've liked right? Discovery, and now they've got the Academy one. Like, I'm not crazy about the violence. Like Law and Order, I used to watch all the time, but now I really wouldn't mind being like on there. That's a good one. I mean, franchise, it's not really franchise. Shows that I really have been enjoying: The Pit, Shrinking, For All Mankind, Paradise.
That's really good.
Paradise is
a great series too. I've actually had to dry my eye a couple of times.
Well, I mean, for me though, because I actually have a foot in like the woo-woo world a little bit too. I do this podcast with a guy named Randy Weitenheimer, who's among other things, Potawatomi, Native American. He's an Indian. He's ex-CIA. He knows how to work energy. He's worked very hard his whole life, like Kung Fu, all the Chinese disciplines. So he knows about energy fields. Like, and this is not topic for this talk particularly, but just to say that the shows that I've been watching, like even Space Force, these people they're accessing something, you know, and I'll go as far as saying all these Disclosure Day coming out, and like Spielberg having an aunt who worked someplace, so he got some papers, so he was able to write Close Encounters and have his right, all that stuff, all these. I think Disclosure is more about reverse engineered stuff from under the pyramids that they've known is there that we're just finding out. AI developing us, not the other way around. Like I have weird ways of seeing shit. Like it's borderline conspiracy, except that I've been trying to make a practice of looking at this stuff kind of neutrally. So whoever's writing this
hearings on UFOs.
Yeah, but like whoever's writing this stuff is like obviously must be watching some of the same shit I am. Like on
Watching For All Mankind and Apple.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. Like the Shawn Ryans and the you know Joe Rogans and all this stuff going on, and then we've got Ross Coulthard. I still can't believe he's 6'6", but okay. I talked to that guy. Ross talks to me on Facebook a lot. Like the last couple of years, I had this really weird John Ferreter. He was a manager, and I was hearing messages from John for Bryce Zabel. So I texted Ross and I was like, dude, I don't know what this is about. Come to find out after, John Ferreter was Bryce Zabel's manager. I didn't know that, you know, but I have these really weird mediumship slips. Like, and I've had precognitive dreams where I've like been in that weird half sleep, like where you can hear everything going on around you, but like you're in this really trippy, like daydream and walked out and 2 hours later experienced what I had been dreaming. Like it's really weird when that stuff happens. So I'm highly intuitive, which also makes me a weirdo. The ADD, you know, the music, like, and also the drawing, like all these drawings, like half of them that I do, it's like in the dark and my hand just does this automatic stuff. And then I don't know.
Wow.
No, now that I've frightened all of you.
Actually, Liane, I was just at a convention in Texas, and Eddie Olmos, who of course the actor who's fantastic, he spoke to Disclosure Day, and he said I think there's a documentary. I think it's on Amazon, and he's a believer. He says not only do I believe, they're already here and they've been here, and which is ironic if you watch Eddie in Battlestar Galactica. He did not want his character or that show to actually have aliens in it. So it's funny that in his real life, he's like all about it.
Well, you know, like it's there's something called the HOA. You know, not the HOA. It's the Hollywood. Oh my God, HTA, Hollywood Disclosure Association, something like that. And there are a bunch of actors in there and producers. Like, of course, Shirley MacLaine is part of it, and Britt Elders, who works with Shirley a lot. But that's growing, you know?
Well, yeah, Shirley, she's been into that for years.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
Liane, you got to tell us about the phase coming soon.
You know, those guys are funny guys. I saw the phase being advertised on Facebook. So I DM'd them and I asked, what's up with this? Could you tell me a little more about it? And they decided that was me hopping onto their project. So get this, I have no fucking clue what that's about.
Really?
And I don't know how to make them stop it. So like, I'm not sure what that's about. Like, but if they were to come to me and tell me it's a SAG film, and there's an actual part in there, like, okay, I was just asking questions and they just ran with it a little too far.
No kidding. Really?
Is that weird? Should I be not saying that out loud?
It's cool. We love getting into, you know, the behind the scenes, how things are made, how things develop. You know, it's not just about who's in front of the camera, but you know, how do these worlds happen? And you know, the fans are sophisticated enough to know a little bit about filmmaking. They know a little bit about the industry. You know, we're no longer just fanboys and fangirls. We love this stuff so much, so we love hearing this, and it's fascinating because you're someone that has the chops. You've been in the business. And so, you know, you're telling us like, oh man, this is cool. Where would you get this? Nowhere. So it's fun. We love this.
Well, and my big problem, I think, is, I don't know if it's a problem. I shouldn't say that. Like one of my, I'm trying to find good vocabulary. I have no filter. How's that? I really have no filter. And sometimes I shouldn't have said that, whatever that. So apologies if I've offended anyone.
No. You actually produced For the Love of Hamlet. Have you done Shakespeare?
Oh, right. 3 days of Hamlet. That was interesting. My kids all went to Will Rogers Elementary School in Santa Monica. And a guy named Punch also had a kid there. Well, Punch was in he was in Pretty Woman, and he's been in a lot of movies. Alex Hyde White is his real name, and he was producing this movie, 3 Days of Hamlet. And the idea was that we were making a movie about a production of Hamlet that happens in 3 days.
Ooh.
It was crazy. Like, I brought my little blind parakeet to work with me every day. Blinky. He actually shows up in the movie because I play myself in the movie when the documentary crew is going back and forth, and I'm just in the office doing whatever it is I'm doing.
Nice.
Kind of it was a 2-week extravaganza, and it was a lot of fun. And I think that film has been acquired, I guess would be the word, for syllabus in colleges.
Oh,
Yeah, like it did stuff in the educational realms as well as entertainment. So, like,
That's awesome.
kind of fun. Alex
that's
is
really cool.
yeah, he's a character.
The
Way
next step
cool.
on your list is direct. What would you direct if you got a chance?
Oh God, if I had a chance to direct something, I wish I could do a vertical drama. Look at me, and now I'm rocking back and forth. Jeez, stop it. Take a breath. It's like box breathing on camera. Nah. Okay. I would love to try to do a vertical drama and just like tell the truth about what goes on in this apartment, and or flesh out the music video "The Aliens Are Here" into a vertical drama where like episodes are like 3 minutes each. Like I have an idea. And I would love to flesh it out, but this entails more than a 3-minute music video, so I'm freaked out and kind of frozen, like because I feel like I need more people to help me get that done. So, but yeah, I've directed music videos before. That's also a short thing for my daughter. There was one called 101 Days. That was a lot of fun. I had a $2,000 budget. And I remember calling a DP friend of mine, Mikey Regal Budo. I was curled up under my desk, suffering from what I was sure was sunstroke from having tried to blow up a pool in my backyard that was inflatable, having a tantrum because my backyard was set. And the neighbors next door decided to do construction and knock all of their plaster and paint into my backyard like the day before. So I'm under the desk, curled up, crying. He answers the phone, and I was like, Mikey. He's like, Liane. I said, yeah. He said, what's up? I said, the music video. He's like, are you doing an independent job here by yourself? I said, yes. He's like, welcome to my world. He's like, that explains why you're like that. Just calm down. You'll get through it. I thought, oh no. But yeah, I did. And it's actually kind of fun. It's kind of fun. My friend Art Douglas shot it and edited it for me.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Very cool. So, Liane, we definitely want to have you come back and do a part 2. We
That would
want to
be fun.
have, yeah. Well, let's
Maybe with Rosie. And maybe we can talk about the Flesh Eaters that my dad made. I don't know. Like he made a movie called The Flesh Eaters, and had he lived, he probably would have remade that Something Wicked This Way Comes. He wanted to do that. My mom said,
That was a good
Wow.
movie.
You know,
They would remake that movie.
there's a lot to explore. Not only your work and some of the projects that are forthcoming. I would also like to explore more of the family, right? Your family has a very huge history that we just touched the ice, tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of other things that we can get into. Usually the first visit here at IFB is, we kind of break the ice. We cover a lot of things like we did tonight. And then the next one is a follow-up and we get into the nitty gritty and we bring up some more things and we have a, open session like we did today. I want to thank you guys.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts?
No, just thank you. I can already think of questions for next time. Sure. I mean, we touching on John Hughes, working on a John Hughes production and what that's all, how that is certainly. And thank you. It's been enlightening.
Thank you. I hope it wasn't overwhelming. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by my history, and really, I feel like if I don't talk about it, all of that is going to die with me.
Yes.
And I'm 60 years old now, so I better make hay.
Yeah, no, we believe that. We know that. We all have a shelf life, as my
Exactly.
typical co-host says. Tipsy would say that immediately. And this is one way that we can get the word out, and we appreciate it. That's what our fans
Well,
like to learn
No,
of. So
great
all my
talking to you.
Dance family and I appreciate you guys. And I'll sign off with like lots of gratitude and I'm flattered. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope I didn't break your minds.
Oh,
no,
no,
not at all.
it's
But
great.
you're very welcome, and thank you for
I
taking
got
the
like
time
20 more
out.
questions to ask you. You know, how'd you like doing Equalizer and Kojak and
Oh, right. Equalizer. I love doing Equalizer. Edward Woodward was one of the most generous actors. There was a two shot, and he said, no, put the camera on her. I'm on the camera enough. So he basically made them do a close up on me. So
Wow.
generous. Who does that?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Who does
big
that?
fan of the show, and I've heard a lot of good things about him. So that is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, come back, bring Steven back, and hopefully, there'll be some movement. But either way, you guys are always welcome. Let's do this. We'll do it when you guys are available and you have whatever. But definitely come back. We want you back.
Thank you. Did you hear that? They want us back. You made a big hit on the TV. That was fabulous. That's Nakoma.
Yeah, thank you very much. Talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon. Stay in
Thank you, Chris.
touch.
Thank you so much. Be well.
have a good night?
All right. Wow, that was so cool.
was good.
Right. I mean, that's part of like how we usually typically play the game. Everybody comes on, and it's like the getting the foot in the door on IFB and talking things out, and then when they come back, we do the follow up and we get into a lot of the other things, and we all kind of get a feel and a flow for how it all plays out. And Liane definitely has a lot more stories, a lot more to tell us and share with us, and then if we come back, bring Steven back, and then maybe there'll be traction with the other projects. But nevertheless, they both have so much history, so it'll be kind of fun to have them both come back, and then we'll build on it like we usually do. So that'd be great.
Well, I
Looking forward
definitely
to
want to see what happens with Spider Seed. So
it. Yeah, no kidding,
Yeah.
no kidding. There's
The
that's
actresses she's gonna pick.
man. So if that happens, Steven had said that they probably they go in, the goal is to go into production later this year, and I definitely want to follow up and hopefully that happens, and maybe we can help get the word out. I would definitely like to try to cover it, see if we can, there's an angle there that maybe we could go out there and do some behind the scenes while they're shooting or something. I don't know. We can make ourselves available depending on when that is and if they're open to it, and help promote their project. I think it would be great for us, as a learning experience as well. So I definitely would volunteer to go out there and see if we can do that. So yeah, wow. I mean, it's how do you when you get somebody that has so much history and so much to tell, it's I definitely want to hear more about family. There's a rich family. John, you brought that up. She'd mentioned that to me before. Her family is, like she said, fourth generation, business, film and entertainment. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, the family was rich on vaudeville circuit in New York. So her
Wow.
family, Brooklyn, Queens.
Wow, that's really, really cool stuff. So yeah, I want to hear more. And
Very interesting.
yeah, Liane talked about, she said it right. If someone like that, doesn't get the opportunity to share it and put it out there, just like us, like our thing is, we happen to be big Battlestar fans, right? If we're not giving back to the fandom, I had a problem, as a kid, amassing all this type of information, whether it was, Star Trek, right? I grew up watching Star Trek and syndication. That was, a special show for me. Always has been, always will be. But then when Battlestar came along, right? I mean, it spoke to me in a different way. And I like Shawn and I, we talked about how I was always going after magazines. I was always trying to get those articles. The stuff that you share now, Shawn, was my thing, and so I skipped fan fiction. Whereas Tipsy, he went into he followed the fan fiction early on. I didn't do that. I was, I got to get that one magazine that has an article. I want to learn more. What am I missing? What's this? What's that about Battlestar? But I was always looking for that. The magazine made it official in my mind. Yep. So it was like, I got to get that. And so I would go to cons all over. And then I started like amassing all of this, I mean, I don't know, it's trivial information, right? It's fandom, fan stuff. And then at some point it's like, oh man, I know all this stuff about it. What do you do with it?
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
like minded people we're doing right now.
Yeah. This is what you got to do. You got to, we give back. We finally got to a point where we can give back and share. And the whole digital age has brought us together. We didn't have this.
Well,
right. It was
Pete. It's like she said. Like Spotify is one thing, and I'm sure we all listen to Spotify. I don't mean to demonize it or anything, but she's spot on. Get it? She's spot on with it. Is that it's it's a money grab. It's a business. Yes. It's there to make money, and but if you can, we can get your music out. You can get your Stranded Warrior out. You can get your fan fiction out. Like there's avenues to do that stuff, and you don't need. Right, you don't need a big studio or a big, record contract or something. You can do it yourself and get the message out there, unlike ever before. Right, and it's amazing.
And you're using your fandom to project it to other people. This is okay. This is what it is. This is what we're into. I mean, the Stranded Warrior was, the knowledge that people had, that the watches, the flight recorder on their legs. It was like hardcore fans, and like, oh my god. And they brought such a precision to that set. You were in awe. You're like, oh wow! And I got this from the watch from the series, and that was just fans coming together to make this film, and it was like mind boggling. I was like, wow, just the knowledge that all these fans had.
Well, yeah, I mean, John and IFB plays around the world, right? I mean, I know Battlestar Bulletin Board. We're in 63 countries, and when Facebook allows you to do dashboards and things, and you can look at data, as I know you guys know. And when the first time I saw that, I was like, "This is so cool." Again, going back to the 12-year-old fan, I'm like, oh my god, I can now, because it was just me. Battlestar was mine. It was just me. I was by myself. Now you can share and interact. And I met Lola. I got to meet Lola and Kim at a con. I look forward to finally meeting you, Pete, at shortly. So yeah, it's awesome. What we can do now for sure.
It is. It's incredible. And look, we've kind of mentioned this before, but the idea that we are, we're big Battlestar fans, right? And it doesn't mean that we're not fans of sci-fi. We're sci-fi fans, sci-fi fantasy and all that other stuff. We're fans of all that. It just so happens that there was this one particular show that resonated more than others. Mm-hmm. And we've proven that, it just because it was a one season show, and some would say, and a movie, that it's not less than anything else. And look, it's still alive. It's still out there. It's still, viable. It is a franchise, like it or not, 1980. And then of course the reimagined, it's Caprica. I mean, it's there. So hopefully, it'll happen. And in the meantime, just like Star Trek, they had their fan fiction. They still have fan fiction. We have our own fan fiction, and we have fan films. Stranded Warrior is not the only fan film out there. There have been, and there are other fan films. It just so happens that we kind of focused in on trying to make the most out of it because we wanted to showcase. One of my goals going into making it with Tipsy was, look, we want to make sure that if we're going to spend the time and effort into this, that it's going to be, fan supported, and we're going to try to make it the best we can. And how do you do that? Well, you get you know, everybody involved that can, you know, make it a showcase. And I wanted to compete, though. This is what I was going to get at, was I really wanted to compete with the Star Wars and the Star Trek and the superhero fan films. I really wanted to compete with them, man. I wanted to prove that Battlestar fans are, you know, just as good at making this stuff, and that it's still viable. And we proved it, right? We competed, and if we beat out some of them, and so, you know, that was it. And then, you know, giving back. So, and we will, right? Ultimately, once we get that last final screening, it'll go out, the final copy, the public copy, right? Because there's the ones that we've been using for the festival runs, is one thing. And then once that's done, we will publicly put it out there. It'll be permanently up on YouTube and on Facebook. It'll be out, you know, we'll put it out. Everybody can enjoy it. And so that copy, obviously, it'll be slightly different. You know, we have to make sure that all the credits are what they're supposed to be, that they match up with, you know, IMDb and all the criteria and everything else. So we'll make sure that, you know, it gets that final scrub, and then it'll go up. So that'll happen soon, guys. Just, you know, be a little bit more patient. I know a lot of you have not had a chance to see it. We've tried to make it available on occasion, and you know that it's been in festivals. Some of them are, you know, digital festivals, and, you know, we put the word out, and I know there's still more of you that want to watch it and see it, and you'll get your chance. Just be a little more patient.
Great things are worth waiting for. So we absolutely will.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it was a labor of love, like anything else, right? Making a film, whether it was a fan film or not, is a labor of love. Yeah. And we did well. We learned a lot. We also we're working on a book that is, you know, based on, you know, what does it take to make a fan film, right? And what were the lessons learned? So down the line, we're going to definitely share that as well, right? So that others that want to try to make a fan film, I mean, a lot of people have heard there's one filmmaker that raised over $120,000 to make a Spider-Man fan film. I don't know how the hell that guy got away with it, but he did. And they made one, and it's out there. It's floating around somewhere. It's like, I think a year or two old now. And it's a fan film. It's a feature fan film. You know, the argument is, if he was trying to make his own IP, something that he created himself, original, the fans wouldn't have given him $20,000 to do his own. Right. So, but the Spider-Man they wanted, and so I honestly don't know how they let him do it, but he did. He put it out, and you know, hey, it's crazy, but he did it. And you know, hey, he gets points for, you know, his drive and you know, making it happen, and good for him. The fans supported it, just like you guys and all the fans supported ours, and so we're, you know, really happy that happened, and we're grateful.
Yeah, I think it's in the news right now. There's a lot. I forget the name of the company, C something. All that AI stuff, but people are making these amazing Batman versus Captain America and all this stuff, and it looks, you know, incredible. But now you got, you know, Disney, and, you know, at some point, you know, be careful with the copyright stuff for sure. But, you know, if you're not monetizing it, I mean, it's a slippery slope, right? You know, there's a lot to it. So,
100%. See, there's, you know, those guidelines.
Does that? They make a lot of movies.
Yeah. The guidelines that Paramount put out after that whole big to do with Axanar, you know, that's,
was in that,
you know, that's the kind of thing. And believe it or not, we've, you know, we know, and we've actually, you know, worked with many that were directly impacted with, you know, with that whole, you know, settlement that happened. And I think all said and done, they're pretty fair guidelines. I mean, you can't use, actors from the actual franchise.
Sure.
Nobody can profit from it because we don't own the IP.
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to be, there's no, so though it's, I think, it's fair. It can't be it's not supposed to be a feature length. That's why I'm surprised that Spider-Man, but hey, whatever, that's a different franchise. But some of the stuff is super creative. I will tell you that at LA, the LA Comic-Con last year's, I met with Bert Oliver Boehmer, and it was incredible. I saw at the film festival there, I saw some crossover fan films, and it was a Spider-Man. Oh my God, I can't. Iron Fist Spider-Man, I think it was, and it was just like, wow, it was like creative, and just I was like, this is crazy, good stuff.
Yeah.
So that it's good. Speaking of creativity, Shawn, your fan fiction, your Battlestar fan fiction, where is that going? Have you wrapped it? Is there more to it? I need you to tell us about that before.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So it's a trilogy. And I went like, again, Fran had, it's not just the only one, but Tally of the Souls is amazing, and Eric Padden's Planet of the Apes crossover. I know you read that, Pete. 500 pages, so you definitely have to be dedicated, but it is so good. If you love both of those franchises, for sure. Mine's a trilogy, and it started as a creative writing, kind of a self-assignment, if you will. As I had kids, and I had, I didn't have time, I had babies running around. I kind of got away from fan fiction for many years, and then once they were grown up, I had the itch at one point, and then I made it like just for no reason. It made a little exercise out of it. It's okay. Well, unfortunately, Rich is no longer with us. Lauren's no longer with us, obviously, etc. Let's make it. What if we made a movie today? Who would, what would that look like, and etc. So I set up this world, and essentially, I asked myself, and I'll be brief as I can. I asked myself, how would you reboot this, and if you're really going to do it or relaunch it? And so I thought about what is Battlestar, and it's like, obviously there's the attack on the colonies, and then the escape of the ragtag fleet in search of a mythical lost brothers of man, obviously at Earth. So I said, okay, how do you do that without retreading it like we kind of like The Force Awakens a little bit? It was accused of being another version of A New Hope, right? So what I did real quickly is book one. It's a 3-book trilogy, if you will. The first book, Quest for Earth, you can find it on Battlestar Bulletin Board Launch Bay. It's in the featured section. All 26 chapters or episodes, as I call them. And basically, real quick, 46 years later, they settled on what they christened New Kobol. And because at some point you get tired of running through space, they haven't seen the Cylons in quite some time, so they feel safe. They basically create a little city. And by the way, I did not steal this, but I think it's just a logical conclusion that it would happen if you were in space for so long. It happened in the Reimagined. They stopped on what they called New Caprica. Bryan Singer's story that at Fox, they were going to stop as well. It's just kind of I think a common sense story beat. So I didn't feel like I was stealing anything there, but they stopped in New Kobol. They felt safe for about a decade. The new generations, they're still training and whatnot, but they're not ready. And guess what? The Cylons show up again, and they're obliterated, and they're back Trek to the Stars. What they'd allowed me to do is introduce new characters and where everyone was at, kind of organically, without going right to the pew 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 of it right off the bat. So that was the first one, kind of set everything up. We're currently running the sequel called The Gods of War, which is a direct sequel to the first book, Quest for Earth, which was like 300 pages. It took a lot out of me. But the second book is The Gods of War. It's a direct sequel to that. It's also a direct sequel to, if you change the words around, War of the Gods, right? And so this one leans heavily into, and I got this from, if you watch the box set special features of Glenn Larson, he talks a lot about, we know his Mormon, upbringing and whatnot, his beliefs and whatnot, touches on the ancient world. obviously Ibli and that influence, and all the mythical parts of Galactica. And so with the first one, it was kind of like the Cylon in, pew pew of it a little bit, and some of the space opera, if you will. This one's going to really dig into the mythology and where we come from and where we're going, and if and when we find her, what's that look like. I don't want to give too much away, but some of the things that Liane was bringing up, Grace Park at the convention in Plano, she mentioned that not only does she believe, like Eddie Almost, that they're already here, but also that it's like kind of like the Matrix, and she said this has happened before, which is a la Battlestar Galactica. Anyway, I say all that. We get into a little bit, I hope I don't jump the shark, but we get into a little bit of universal and dimensional kind of things you'll see in the story. But I want to go to the ancient gods. The play on the Ibli piece again. He promised he would come back, right? He said there will come another time, another place, and we'll meet again. And so that's what that story is. And then finally, there'll be a cliffhanger at the end of this one, and then the third book, we're going to go into what's the end game. I believe in an end game. It's not Star Trek. It's not James Bond. I think it's more what we grew up with, the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi, that there is an end game to Galactica. What is it? And so it's called Conquest of the Earth. And we'll see how that plays out. But I'm having a ball. It's a lot of fun.
See that.
It's being well received for the most part.
Yes.
I don't claim to be Fran or Eric as a writer, but I think I'm a decent storyteller, and I know Galactica, so having a lot of fun with that.
Cool.
That's all that matters. As long as you're having fun and people are enjoying it and you're enjoying it, and you're propagating the fandom, and that's awesome. So it's
Thank you. Yeah.
So I get lost. The creativity, just the research together, and that's
so
awesome.
we got a couple of live guests that came on that are with us. So I already got called out for not using my Viper. My little Viper I see you thing, right from Romper Room, since we kind of grew up with Romper Room. But thank you, Mediocre Modeler, for making this. This is a lot of fun, and of course Tipsy Toaster for ordering and calling me out so that I got it. Here it is, Tipsy. And so let me thank the BFC, Battlestar Fan Club, for dropping in. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Of course, IFB, we are members of BFC. And Ronin73, Coaster Mama, Ralph Duran, thank you for joining us live, and everybody else. And then everyone that watches us later on as well, right? So in the thousands, we have... some of our shows in the past, over the last 6 years, have hit over 40,000 views worldwide, and so we're honored. I remember in the first couple of broadcasts we did, myself and Tipsy, I was excited to see that 34 people had watched our broadcast, and now it's thousands of fans around the world. Thank you very, very much for joining us live. Thank you for those that are going to watch us afterwards. Remember that tell everyone, you can go to YouTube. That's where everything is, right? All over 300 shows are all on YouTube. You can watch them there. Also, stay tuned for announcements. We're going to be making our own public service announcements for Shore Leave. Yep. We're also going to be making some for our book and for other projects that are coming up as well, which include the For the Love of Battlestar. Glenn Eric Larson likes to, he refers to it as our scrapbook, and it has quiz questions, right? It has trivia. There is trivia that we specifically created. We went in and we went episode by episode. So these trivia questions are unique. We had created in the past. We had a I got to call it it's like a monograph. It's a book that's made with a very limited run or very limited distribution. And we did that with a publisher overseas. And it stayed there. It never went anywhere, but it was basically kind of like locally published. And so the trivia that's coming out in For the Love of Battlestar is all new stuff. We worked really hard with it, and Professor Patton is helping us out with that. So thank you for doing that. Of course, Tipsy has been at the tip of the spear with both the IFB compendium and now, taking the reins on the new Battlestar book that we're putting together. So the goal is, of course, to have it ready for shore leave and have copies and be able to advertise it and announce it at shore leave. Hopefully, let's fingers crossed that we get there and be able to do that. And thank you all again for joining us. Of course, our special guest, Liane Curtis, that came on and shared all these stories and background. Very cool, right? Someone that's from our generation, grew up in the business, fourth generation in entertainment. Very cool. Shawn, Battlestar Bulletin Board, you are the admin, the creator of that platform. Thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for filling in for Tipsy. And John, keep up the good work.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Well, listen, you are a man behind the scenes. You come on, you do your segment, you produce your own segment. However, you are at the heart of getting our guests, scheduling, programming, going out there and covering events and meeting and talking and getting the word out. You do a lot of work behind the scenes, and I want to make sure everybody knows and appreciates that. Thank you for taking the time out and staying with us on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed talking to you and Shawn. You guys are great.
Absolutely. Shawn, any final thoughts?
No, but first of all, thank you both for having me. I always enjoy coming on, and if you haven't already, I'm trying to watch the chat, but check out Battlestar Bulletin Board. We have a public page, we have a public group, Battlestar Bulletin Board Launch Bay, and then we have a private group. If you want, that's the OG from the pandemic. I launched in the pandemic. If you want to be part of a private group and you can post and whatnot, you can do that as well. So that's Battlestar Bulletin Board as well.
Cool. Very, very cool. We look forward to upcoming. I did want to tell everyone this. I want to share this. So anyone that is going to be in Birmingham, in England, at the MCM Comic Con 2026, I have my ticket in hand. And I will be attending the Saturday of the convention. So if any of you Saturday general entry, I will be in England, and I will be in Birmingham. I will share the dates with you guys. It's August. It'll be in August. So this August, I'm going to be taking a course at Oxford. So at the end of it, I'll be going to the convention. So MCM, if anybody out there, if you guys are going to be around there anywhere, let me know. Would love to meet up with you at the con there, right? MCM Comic Con Birmingham 2026. It's in August. It's the Saturday. So as we get closer, I'll let you know. But if you're going to be there, give a shout out. Would love to meet you there. But otherwise, I will be there. I'll be in Oxford. So, again, if anyone's out there, we could try to meet some of the fans. It's really cool meeting up with you guys. So, looking forward to meeting up with BFC at shore leave. Yes. I know we have the Colonial Ministry of Defense will be there as well. And now it looks like we've roped in Shawn is imminently going to announce his going, his lockdown. Oh, okay. So Fran Severn, right? Superfan Fran, who will be at shore leave, has confirmed that Annie and Lockhart's celebrity dinner at shore leave is Friday night. Saturday night, IFB is hosting. So if you're going to shore leave, and you want to join us for dinner, we have the details. Let us know, and we can let you know where it is, what the cost is, and we have a semi-private area set aside at the restaurant, and we'd love to get together with you and break bread. It's a great thing when we can do that. So looking forward to seeing all of you there. John, you're going to be at Shore Leave.
I'll be there. Yep.
Yep. So
I got my ticket and my hotel all set.
Yep. So we announced that earlier. So look, watch IFB page on social media on Facebook. We will be continuing our tributes for those actors that cannot come, for those that were involved with the Stranded Warrior and are not going to be able to attend. We're going to continue posting and thanking them for what they did. I will end with this. We expect to have a red carpet premiere in New York City in May of The Stranded Warrior and the Tower Protocol Resurrection. It will be part of a couple of other films by local filmmakers, including George Zuvalos. So if you're around, we will let you know. It's going to be a red carpet affair, and it's going to be our New York City world premiere. So if you can, please come. We'll let you know when and where as we lock down that May date, right? So hopefully it'll be in the beginning of May. I will get you guys, I'll post it, and hopefully you can make it. So if you want to, if you're in the area, and if not, come to Shore Leave, and we're going to have a great time. So, Fran, I'll let you know.
It's going to be a big hike for me, but I think I'll be in the area.
Perfect. Shawn, you'll have to wait till Shore Leave.
Yeah, right.
Shore Leave is going to be great. We got a lot of guests. It's going to be rated 1's going to be there. It's going to be
it's
big.
It's going to be awesome.
Oof.
Okay, Fran, we'll take that under consideration. The May 15, 17. We'll see. The hosts are it's a charity. It's a fraternal order. There are hosts, and they are working on the logistics. So it's kind of out of our hands. I have been suggesting, so I will let you know. So stay tuned, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
And we toast at the end of the show. And so here it is, guys. Fans fuel the fleet. Stay the course, and make sure that you keep the faith, as Richard Hatch would say. And we'll see you next week, next Thursday night, here on Interfleet Broadcasting. Thank you very much, everyone, and here's to you.
Thank you, everybody.
Fans fuel the fleet.
Fans fuel the fleet.
Let me let's see if I can get the exit. What is it? Where is it? We usually have our little outro.
First scene.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I got it. It's the old one.
How's this button work? How do we get that off?
You're going to love it. Here we go. It's the old one with the great soundtrack. Take care, everybody. Be well and stay safe.